discuss things first. But once we get to that point, you can jump in and we can talk face to face, live, if you will. All that good stuff. But if you're over there on Facebook, always leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm checking both of them, and we're broadcasting on both of them. So if you want to add to the conversation, Facebook is the way to go. Or if you want to actually join me in the conversation and we can talk one-on-one live, then and have that conversation like that, then just move on over to Instagram, ask to join, and I'll put you in the queue to come on aboard. Also, if you want to have make a comment and you don't want to put your name behind it, you want to be incognito, hey, send me a DM. I'll read your message. We'll discuss it. I won't say your name. I won't give who you are or anything like that. It will be totally anonymous, but I do want you to be a part of the conversation, even if you want to remain private. So with all that being said and done, let's get into it. All right. Like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about dating madness. And, for me, it's like I've basically, from talking to so many people who are going dating, all right, and I'm not just talking about meeting on through digitally, okay, meaning social media or dating apps, things like that. I'm not even talking about that specifically, because we are in a digital age right now. People communicate via our phone, our device. This little thing right here connects us not just across the street down there, across the city, across the state, across the world. We're able to reach out and touch people who are all across the planet, whether you're using things such as Facebook, things such as Instagram, WhatsApp, you name it. People can get a hold of you and they can reach out and touch you, and they can also do that in the dating realm. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about how we meet people on a day-to-day basis. And that kind of sort of, leads me to the first phase of the madness that I'm kind of talking about, which is, I hate to say it, fellas, kind of falls on us. We are leaders, and that's one of the reasons why I really got into this. Not only am I an author, y'all see the books behind me. We're talking in my books. I talk about black love and all the things that come along with it. However, black love overall has gotten a bad rap, but shit, anything black normally does in today's media. But in reality, nothing's really changed. Okay, nothing is really changed, because quite honestly, dating is simple. All right. And speaking of simple, us dudes, we're pretty simple. All right. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. The problem is, though, or one of the many problems when it comes to this dating madness thing is us dudes, we don't know how to approach women. But ladies, y'all don't know how to be approached. Okay. Oh, I mean, not so much now, but there was a point in time where dudes were being called thirsty because they're like, hey, ma, you looking good. Stop being so thirsty. That kind of dumb shit. Ladies, there's nothing wrong with a man shooting a shot, especially if he's doing it respectfully, especially if he's reaching out to you, because guess what? Men are visual creatures. We like what we like, and we like what we see, and y'all may not know this, but it's hard as hell to approach a woman sometimes, right? Going all the way back to adolescence, and all my fellas out there, y'all know, if you see a woman, I don't care, back in high school, all right, you starting to smell yourself, and you see little Susie Q running down the block, it's like, God damn, she fine, okay? So that's our first foray into dating, and you reach out and you say, hey, you find a way, you pull her pigtail, whatever the hell it is, you try to get her attention. Now that we're adults, men do the same stupid shit. Instead of saying, hey, I like you, you're attractive, whatever, we start liking her damn pictures, which is just okay? We like her pictures and then hope that she realizes, why is this dude liking my pictures? And hopefully she reaches out to you and says, hey, I see you like, I don't know, that mindset makes no sense to me, but that's kind of where we are right now, okay? Men are supposed to be leaders. So if you are single, unattached, whatever, and there's someone that you're attracted to, you reach out, you send a message, all right? But once again, the issue is you do reach out, then you got to hit that dumb shit that a lot of women hit you with, which is, okay, why are you so thirsty? Or you get left on red and all of that other stuff, which kind of leads to one of the problem, it's not pull your on Instagram, she's like, pull your hair, you better get dinner first. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about back in the day, when we were in high school. Definitely not now, because if you're a grown man, you best believe, that you're going to have that issue. So, my board op is telling me I need to mute my mic. Y'all, let me know also, because y'all my technical control out there. If it sounds like crap, let me know what's happening so we can fix it. All right. But back to what we're saying. But you know what? That kind of leads the comment that we just got in the Instagram chat from Michelle. One of the reasons I think that dating is also so difficult is fear. Okay, like I said, for us, for a lot of men, and I hold myself in that regard as well. It takes a lot of courage to approach a woman that you're really interested in. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. Some men are more courageous than others. Some dudes have the gift of game, whereas others do not. So it can be very difficult to approach a woman and say, "Hey, I'm interested," because the fear of rejection, the fear of getting left on red and all this other stuff, the fear of just getting shot down. All of those things may definitely lead you to say, you know what, I don't think I'm ready to approach her, and then you fall back. And the minute you fall back, that just leaves room for somebody else to fall in. However, but a lot of times what you don't understand is she may want you to approach her, but because of fear, because of I don't want to get rejected and all this stuff, you don't shoot your shot. But like I said, let's go back to what I was just discussing as far as the digital dating aspect of it, the madness that comes along with that. Yes, shoot your shot, but how do you do that when it comes to, going in somebody's DMs? Okay, now what a lot of dudes do, they like the pictures and hope that she DMs you. That's ass backwards. And even if she was to DM you, imagine that you start dating someone where she takes the initiative and is reaching out to you instead of it being the other way around. You're already starting off with things out of whack. Now, let me also be clear. It's not just a male-female dynamic, so I do want to be careful with that. However you find love, whether it's a he, she, him, she, however you find it, the dynamics are still the same. If you're interested in somebody and you want to date them, you have got to take the initiative and say, hey, I'm interested in you. I want to date you. Okay? A couple things for me, all right? I think that also one of the reasons why we have gotten into this state of madness when it comes to dating is, quite honestly, we have gotten away from the basics. Okay? People don't date the way that they used to. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to live back in the 50s where you go up there with a bouquet of flowers and your damn bow tie. I'm not saying all that. Okay? It's 2021. I get it. However, the basics are the basics. Now, I was in the Army. All my military folks out there, hit me, show me some love. Y'all let me know. Even if you're in the Air Force, I'm still rock with you. But, I served in the Army. However, all of us across all 5, I guess it's now 6 with that Space Force BS, whatever. All of us, no matter what branch of the military that we were in, can pick up that M16, which is the weapon, the main weapon that I was using at the time. I think it's the M4 now. All of us, no matter if you were in the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, Coast Guard, we all could pick up an M16 and we all could use that same weapon. Why? There was basic training across the board. And because of that, no matter where you were, the tools of war, you knew what to use as a unit. Okay? So the basics to me when it comes to dating are texting and FaceTiming. Stop. Go back to the basics. I really and truly think that once we get into texting and once we start FaceTiming with someone that we really and truly just met and are starting to develop a relationship with, it creates more problems than it's worth. Texting is one of the most... It's the easiest. It's the most convenient. I get it. However, it's the most... It lacks the most intimacy. And it lacks nuance. Okay? There are times where you're trying to impart something, especially with someone that doesn't know you. Like me, I have a weird ass sense of humor. However, if I'm trying to talk to somebody and I'm cracking what I think is just the funniest damn joke ever, I'm talking about some funny shit. However, because it's coming through in a text, a lot can be missed. Now, I'm not saying not to text as things start to develop. That's what Alicia said in Instagram. I'm not saying not to text. Don't get me wrong, because you still have got to communicate. What I'm saying is, to be clear, is don't initially, if you swipe right on the person or if you send them a DM, yo, after, hey, I'm Chris, what's happening? How you doing? You look kind of cute. My Lord, that booty is big. Cool. However, ma'am or sir or whatever whoever you're reaching out to, say, yo, call me when you get a chance. And then you have a phone call, a conversation, and then you develop the conversation, and then you go to texting. I've seen it happen way too many times where you're texting, and because there's a lack of intimacy in the text, you're not developing intimacy because you're using a medium that by definition is not meant to provide intimacy. And if you're not, and by intimacy, I mean you're developing a connection. Is it more convenient? You best believe it is. Sure, you can text, you can slide over, shoot a little text. But as far as developing when you're starting out with the dating, I honestly think that going back to the basics, picking up the phone, having a phone call where you can hear that person's voice, you can hear the inflection, you can hear, that kind of, you can hear them, formulating thoughts or whatever. I mean, you develop that, but at the same time as well, it forces you to have a conversation. Because if I text you now, hey, what's happening? 20 minutes later, I'm fine. That doesn't help. But if I pick up the phone and say, hey, you busy? Or I text, hey, you busy? Got a couple minutes? No, I'm good. Hey, what's happening? You got to respond back. And that's what I'm talking about. You're able to develop it. Because remember, if you don't get the basics developed, then how can you build from there? Okay, real phone calls is what Danielle is agreeing with me over here on Facebook. Real phone calls. Let's get back to the basics. Now let's go back again with technology. Is FaceTiming a good thing? Hell yeah, it is. I've sold so many houses with FaceTime. I had one particular client. They drove trucks. I showed them 3 houses via FaceTime. Is it a great tool to have? Of course. But is it the best way to develop something when you're starting a relationship? Hell no. Because guess what? I don't need to see you all the time, especially when we just got started. If we're just starting out talking, okay? I need to learn you. I need to hear your voice. I need to hear, develop that kind of a rapport. And then we can move on into FaceTiming. I think that one of the reasons why we've gotten the state of madness, quote unquote, that we are now, is because we've gotten away from the basics. Even when it comes to dating, and once again, as a dude, I'm gonna reach out, holler at my fellas. But however, if you are the dominant one, if you will, in your relationship, if you're gonna ask someone out on a date, learn how to freaking date. Okay, don't pick them up. Hey, so what you want to do? No, that goes back, like I said, going back to the basics. If we've been having phone calls and conversations, and you kind of get an idea as far as what this person likes, because you may not. That doesn't necessarily come across in the text. However, if we are talking on the phone and I'm in my car and I got the Bluetooth on and we're just talking and I see, oh man, look at that billboard. Man, do you know that they're having a sale on skydiving? Oh, you like skydiving? Yes, y'all, that is the best impression of a woman ever. So don't say nothing. But anyway, those are the little details that you learn about that person, where they may say something like, man, I sure could go for a steak. So when you're planning that date, guess what? Hey, we're going to go to Longhorn or something like that. I don't know. If you got Ruth's Chris money, whatever, you're going there. But those little details are what can allow you to put together a date. But if you're constantly texting and not necessarily building and getting those intimate details that you can use, you're already, once again, starting off behind the 8 ball. Okay? Now, ladies, let me take a sip because we're going to get a little interesting in this. Like I said, my dudes don't necessarily know how to approach women. And quite honestly, women don't know how to be approached. That's my opinion on that. But I will say this, ladies, a lot of y'all overvalue yourselves. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be real with you. And by that, what I mean is, I'm not saying that, you know, you are not worth anything. All right. To be clear, I love my ladies. I love my queens. However, the reason why a lot of times you shoot down men who are shooting their shot is because y'all sometimes overvalue where you think you are in the grand scheme when it comes to dating. I know Alicia in the Instagram chat said it. Yeah, y'all men do too. That's true. And we're going to get into that as well. But for right now, I'm going to get on y'all. I'm in real estate. Okay. And if someone is selling their home, they can sell the house for $400,000 because guess what? My house. I've done all kinds of crap in this house. Love my house. I done did this, did that. However, even if I put $200,000 worth of work projects into this home, that's not going to change the market value of the house based on the appraisal that of the area of other homes that are comparable to mine. That doesn't change the fact that in my mind, this is the best thing smoking. I'm living in damn near in the White House. I love my home. But that doesn't mean that if someone's going to come in and say, well, you know what? I hear you asking $400,000 for this $200,000 house. That ain't going to cut it. It doesn't work that way. The value of the house is based on what the market will bear. Okay? And because the only way we can sell the house is if we go on a contract, which means that both parties agree to the sales price or the value of the home. It's a contract. And I think that we've gotten out of whack, which is what's caused the madness, because the social contract that's usually been in place for so long where, you know what, hey, how are you doing? I'm Chris. Hey, how are you doing? You're Michelle. And we come together and we both know that we are comparable to each other. But if you think that you're up here and you're using arbitrary things, like with my house, I done put the little deck on the back, done put the can lights in, done did all this stuff. So because of that, I think it's up here. But in reality, the value of the home is down here. Then I'm not going to be able to sell the house because I think it's here. But the market is saying, nah, bro, you need to come on back down here. I just said men are visual creatures. If we approach you at the bar or if we swipe right on any dating app or whatever, it's not because of your schooling. It's not because of the damn car you drive. It's not because of, what's another thing that, it's not because of your job or any of those things. Men don't give a damn. I hate to say it. So because you have all of these things going for you, don't get me wrong, those are great accolades. I'm not knocking them, but men don't give a damn about that stuff. We just don't. We approach you at the bar because you look good, not because you have, I don't know, whatever the hell job you have. You're a director of such and such at the CDC. I don't give a damn. I approached you at the bar because you cute. Men don't care about your job. Men don't care about your stuff. We care about initially how you look. That's just a sad reality when it comes to dating. And and that's what I'm saying. A lot of women overvalue themselves because they think I'm this, I'm that. So therefore I need a man that's this and that. But nah, you down here, but you think you're up here. My house, I think it's up here. But if the market is telling me it's up here or it's down here, then I need to, if I lowered my expectations, I'm going to sell the house. But if I leave my expectations up here, I'm never going to sell the house because nobody's going to come up to my price when it doesn't appraise as such. The same thing goes when it comes to dating. I get it. All right. Confidence and Lizzo and I'm this and all right. That's all wonderful. But if the reality is that if you're not appealing on this, you're actually on this level, but you think you're up here, you could find some great dates right here because this is where you are. But you think you're up here, and then guess what? Nobody's coming up there to you because you're not there. That's just a sad reality. I'm being as honest as I can. And also what happens is when men do say, you know what? Hey, what's going on? They're coming up to you because, you know what? She's attractive. I like what I'm seeing. You come up here. No, you're a truck driver. I don't need that. No, man, if you don't get the hell out of here, That could be your potential husband, but because you think your value's up here, it doesn't work. And that, once again, is why we have, in my opinion, my humble opinion, some of the madness that we have now when it comes to dating. Okay? Another reason, honestly, is therapy. If you get out of a bad relationship, or in my case, multiple bad well, you know what? They weren't bad marriages. I had issues in the marriage. I'm going to take ownership of those, right? So if you're coming out of a bad relationship and you don't fix yourself. Hey, Leslie, I see that comment in Facebook. We're going to talk about that in a second. That's a good comment, though. Thank you for that. I'm going to touch on that. If you don't fix yourself, y'all remember Etch-a-Sketches back in the day? You remember the Etch-a-Sketch? Let me see if I can find one real quick. Y'all remember the Etch-a-Sketch, right? It's that damn thing where, and I could never do them things. I never understood the damn Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, I'm from Jamaica, right? So when I moved over here to the States, a lot of the toys that some of y'all grew up with, we ain't have them shits over there. All right, y'all just don't know how blessed y'all were them having all them toys. Because when I came over, it's like, yo, y'all got some toys and shit. Nah, we ain't have none of them. I ain't trying to buy one. This damn taking me over to eBay. Here we go. This joint right here. Y'all remember these? The Etch-a-Sketch? With the Etch-a-Sketch, what it is, you're able to do the little doodles and whatever. And then when you're done, what do? What you had to do? You had to shake it, right? And when you shook the device, it cleared it out. Therapy is essentially the same when it comes to dating. If you don't clear out some of the nonsense of past relationships, and I'm not just talking about dating relationships. In my case, it was a lot of things that dealing with my father, dealing with my mother, all the way from my childhood back in Jamaica. Okay. On a personal note, when I moved over here to the States, because of how my green card stuff was, I had to stay behind while the rest of my family came over here. Okay. Because of that, I was at the time, I want to say 7 or 8, and it took maybe a year or so to get all that resolved. So I'm there behind in Jamaica by myself. Well, not by myself. I was with my grandparents. But my family was over here in America. You best believe I had all kinds of abandonment issues once I finally got over here and then, grew into adulthood. Because I'm like, yo, what if they leave or whatever the case may be? Because I hadn't gotten therapy, those abandonment issues were still there. So when I got into relationships, I'm like, all right, how long before this person dips? So then what I didn't do was invest the time and the energy into making sure it worked, because I had that nonsense, those demons working at me, in my heart, so therefore I couldn't move forward with a serious relationship. Therapy, it may not fix everything, but it at least puts it on the forefront so you can work on it. And if you're at least aware of it and you see those triggers and you see like, okay, you feel that angst, and it's like, you know what? How can I deal with this? Instead of me reacting to it and not handling it properly, how can I instead, okay, I feel the anxiety. I feel it coming. I can process it. I can work on it. That's what therapy does. And then because of that, you're able to stay in certain in situations when you're dating in order to work through it, as opposed to saying, oh, you ain't calling me? Oh, screw that, I'm gone. Because you have abandonment issues. You got to have therapy, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship and it doesn't work out for whatever reason. You got to get some help. You got to have someone to talk about it in order to make sure that you can fix the issues that you have within you. Okay. What else we got here? Dating, quite honestly, it's pretty damn simple when you stop and think about it. It really is. If you know what it is you want and what your expectations are, if you're honest with where you are as far as value, if you will, because they say it's a marketplace. So with real estate or any other product, if you're selling something, it's what the market will bear. It's what it appraises for. It's pretty simple. And if we get a hold on those things, a lot of the madness that we go through now when it comes to dating will really and truly be alleviated. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're dealing with human beings, you're going to have some nonsense. You're going to have drama, etc. It's fine. That's going to happen. And speaking of madness and drama, you have to ask yourself, what is it that men want and what is it that women want? I was having this conversation the other day and I said personally, I think men want peace. Now, it could be a piece of... Anyway, men want peace. Men want peace. So if you know, and here in this, I see Michelle. We're gonna jump in just a second. If you know that, and this kind of touches on the therapy piece. If you know that your personality is one that brings chaos and drama and all this other shit, the reality show ratchet nonsense. Of course, your dating life is not going to be successful. But if you know that, okay, you know what? The peace that I bring is going to be conducive to me getting into a better relationship. But, if ladies, I know y'all want peace. I know. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying that this is what men want. I know. They're like, men, we want peace. I know. I'm not saying y'all don't. I'm just letting you know from a man that that's really and truly what we want. Now, I do think women also want security. That's not necessarily something that a man wants. Y'all agree or disagree on that? All right, let me start taking a couple calls. We got Michelle up first. Once again, y'all, if you want to join the conversation, because I see y'all over here on Facebook, I'm going to be touching all of these comments that you guys have posted. But if you want to go one-on-one, if you think I'm about that bullshit, like, Chris, I don't know what you're talking about, jump over here on Instagram, and we can go have a conversation, all right? First up is Michelle. And y'all, please, if you do want to come in, make sure that you put your name in the chat, so that way I know exactly who it is, because I want to know exactly who I'm talking to. All right, so I'm about to go live with Michelle that you guys have posted. But if you want to waiting for her to connect, if you think I'm about that bullshit, like, Chris, I don't know what you're talking about, jump over here on Instagram. Howdy, and we can go have a conversation. All right. First up is Michelle. All right, what's going on, Michelle? So, talk to me. What do you think about dating madness? Make sure that you put your name in the chat, so that way I know exactly who it is. Michelle, this generation granny. Waiting for her to connect. It's not even about the granny aspect. Like, even
Hey.
my generation is
Howdy.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's going on, Michelle? So, talk to me. What do you think about dating madness?
I think that this generation is different.
Granny?
And not even about the granny aspect. Like, even between my generation and, say, my brother's generation, who's only, he's only 5 years younger than me, they're looking for something totally different. And whereas, back in the day, men are providers, men are protectors, blah, blah, blah. A lot of men today are looking for that 50-50. So a lot of what you're saying is it holds true. And as women, we need to hold men to a certain standard. But in the same token, men aren't looking for that today. So I don't think there's like a black and white. And I don't quite know how to fix it. I just know that the generation today, they're not really, like, when you go back to like texting and FaceTime and all that, like, that's all they know how to do. For example, I was with my homegirl earlier tonight, and she expressed an interest in a guy that I knew. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna, try to bridge the gap between y'all. And so I messaged him on Facebook. But it took so doggone long for him to respond back. And then when he responded back, I didn't understand half of what he was saying. So I just picked up the phone and called him, because I'm not going to do this texting. I'm not going to do this FaceTiming. But that's where people are in this day and age. That is what this generation knows. That's how they know how to navigate the dating scene. So you have people from different walks of life being told to expect different things. And I don't necessarily think it's fair to be like, hey, women, understand, where you are in value, when our values are so different when it comes to, from man to man or generation to generation.
I can understand that. Hold on, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Okay, I can definitely understand that, because you're right. Men do want different things than women. I would hope so. Personally, I've never been a fan of that 50-50 shit. I just, it's like, bro, are we dating or are we roommates? That's definitely another conversation, because I for the life of me, I've never understood that. Sorry, I'm moving around a little bit.
Right, but in the same token, you ask any guys that are dating today, many of these younger guys, first thing they'll tell you is what you bringing to the table, because, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And they don't understand the intangibles that a woman can provide to them and provide to their lifestyle and provide to their household outside the financial. And I mean, I've heard many men say, well, this ain't the same type of age, this ain't the same type of era. You need two people to make this work. And for them, it's about the financials. It's about the accolades. They say they don't want to hear about a woman's accolades, but they still want her to bring that money to the table. So you can't have it both ways as a man. I feel like in this generation, a lot of men, they talk a good game. They talk about what it is that they do want and what a woman should be. But when it comes down to it, they don't know what the hell they want. And they want peace, as you say, but they also want to live a peaceful lifestyle like a housewife too. I'm just going to keep it. I'm for real.
You gotta ask, are those men?
They want 50-50 because they can't manage themselves by themselves. So they see a woman as a burden, but not an asset to their lifestyle. So she need to be coming with her money too. And I can't come with my money without my degrees. I can't come with my money without owning my own company. I can't come with my own money without my own accolades. So the what's important to men of a certain generation isn't the same importance to men of this new generation. These new motherfuckers are different. I'm sorry, just being real with you.
Hey.
But that's all.
So I a lot of that I can't really disagree with you, because things are out of whack, which is another reason why we do have this madness.
Dating madness?
We have the homosexual thing going on right now where dudes really and truly don't. It's like, but then again, but I will say this. Even though men are leaders, women need to provide the inertia and hold men accountable.
Those are two different things.
No.
I can
because what you said,
and I can hold you accountable, but I'm also going to be a nag. I'm also going to be a bitch. I'm also going to be a complainer. I'm going to be a lot of other things that y'all also say, or at least let me not say y'all. Let me not paint a broad stroke with that men of this generation say that they don't want, because they want peace too. So they don't want somebody pushing them for more when they're comfortable. They're comfortable right now. They're comfortable in their one-bedroom apartment with their big screen TV and their PlayStation and their one chair, and they're comfortable. So you need to bring, if you want more than that, you need to bring it with you. But we're also being told we don't want to hear that. That's not what we want. Men don't care about that. So what is it that we're supposed to do as women? Like, what is it that y'all, because we know what kind of man we want. I don't know any woman that wants to bust her ass and work hard and sweat and slave. I don't know not one. In the same token, you talk to one man, that's what he needs you to be. You talk to another man, he don't want that either. So it is a very confusing time to be a woman. It's like you're either a thought or you're a prude, but either way, bring him peace. Okay.
off all this time. Let me try that again. Michelle, she brought up some really good points. Okay, my mic was off. Sorry about that, y'all. And one of the things I will say is this. I said that ladies, you guys provide the inertia. What I mean by that is this. If you know what it is you want from the relationship, right? If you know what it is that you are expecting, okay? Hey, Alicia, I see. I'm gonna let you in just a second. If you know what it is that you are expecting and you know what you want, for instance, something as simple as holding the damn door for you. That's a two-part thing. One, if you want that man to hold it, and remember, and also before I dig too deep, we're talking about dating. We're not necessarily talking about being in relationships, this, that, and the third. So going back to Michelle's point where he's at home on his PlayStation, then don't accept that BS and move on to the next man. Because if you know that that's not what you want in your life, well, damn it, don't accept that. Don't accept any less than who you are. So if you want the kind of man that's going to hold the door for you, one, you tell him, and then two, you hold him accountable. Hey, sit in the car until he walks around and opens the door. If he doesn't open the door, then you know that's an indicator, a red flag, if you will, that that's not the one for you. But also at the same time, though, ladies, there's a lot of dudes that are walking around, want to hold your door, but y'all jump out the car before I can even walk my ass around to open it for you. Remember what I said? Going back earlier, men don't necessarily know how to approach women, but ladies, y'all don't know how to approach us or to be approached. So let's jump in. Alicia, what you got? There's a lot of dudes that are walking around, want to hold your door, but y'all jump out the car before I can even walk my ass. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about consistency as well when it comes to this madness too. How you doing, ma'am? Men don't necessarily know how to approach women, but ladies, y'all don't know how to approach us or to be approached. What is the majority? So let's jump in. Alicia, what you got? About to go live with Miss really? Alicia. What do you? What do you mean? Me the business. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about consistency as well when it comes to this madness too. How you doing, ma'am?
Hey.
I see all up in your nose. What you got?
That is the majority of men.
But what is the majority?
The PlayStation.
The PlayStation.
Really? What do you mean?
Not even that. I was gonna get to what you were just talking about opening the door and all that stuff. We're already not used to it, so we're independent. So when we do get that man that wants to do that, yeah, we're already out the car because we don't know that's what he's coming to do. If we're getting out the car at the same time, and I've been told plenty of times, you're too independent or whatever the case is, but if that's not what I'm used to, because I've only had that maybe 3 times in my lifetime, a man that wanted to open doors. So here's the thing though, I'm gonna use what you just said. It may not be what you're used to, but it should be what you're demanding. So in other words, if you remember that old was it fairy tale back in the day, where the princess, she went out and she got something happened to her, and they put her on a whole bunch of mattresses and put like a rock or something at the bottom, and she's like, oh, I can't sleep because there's a rock in my bed. Why? She was used to that. Okay. Now, if you're used to something, then you demand it. If you want a result in your life, then you demand it. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a matter of, okay, now he's doing it. No, you should always want that. Or not. Because he can keep.
But you should.
But he can come at me in different ways and still be that guy. Just because he doesn't open a door, like, you know me. I'm just, like I said, independent. I'm used to doing that. I'm used to taking all my groceries out the car. By the time they get over there, I'm already in. But what I'm saying is that's not my main issue with a man. What's your main issue? Whole dating scene. I've been married, divorced 18 years. I've been dating off and on. I've been in a couple of relationships, and they all turn out the same way. And
how is that? How do they turn out?
It starts out good or great in the beginning, and then all that changes. Or because they can't, like Michelle was saying earlier, they can't bring to the table what they want. They want the equal. They don't want to provide for you, or nowadays I get the man always wants you to be 50-50. I haven't got that man that wants to provide. If he said he wanted to provide, he never did.
But here's the thing. I know it sounds like a small thing. I know it sounds like a small thing when I'm talking about holding the door for you, but that's the first sign of a man providing for you. And if you say I'm independent, hear me out. I know it sounds crazy. What I'm saying is not necessarily holding the door for you, okay? But I'm just using that as an example because we're talking about that. If on one hand you're saying that I'm independent, I'm used to this, I'm used to that, then guess what? The dude is just going to fall into the rhythm. But if you start out holding him accountable for certain things, then a man, not a boy, not a this, not a that, a man is one, either he's already on that level, or he's like, yo, finally, you know what? I got you. But if you don't provide that pressure, if you don't say, yo, no, this is what I want, this is what I'm used to, and more importantly, this is what I demand, then guess what? He's not, if you don't put a demand on it, if your job says, hey, I need for you to be there at 9 o'clock, but you show up at 10 and they don't write you up, they don't discipline you, you're gonna show up at 10. You're probably gonna show up at 10:30 with a couple Dunkin' Donuts in your hand, because there are no repercussions to it, right? But if you start out and you meet somebody, swipe right, y'all start texting, oh, okay, and then you start talking, and then when he shows up, it's like, and you tell him, hey, I'm gonna get it this time, but I would like if you're interested in me, show me, hold my door for me, open the door for me, show me. And I promise you the tone changes, because I hate to say you got to teach a man to be a man, but you hold him accountable to treat you the way you want to be treated.
Be a man. I'm not. I said that's exactly what you're
and I understand that. And that kind of falls back on us as men to hold other men accountable. What I do, if I'm out with my lady, I mean, I do it regardless.
You're the exception.
But I know. I'm kind of cute too. What I'm saying is, hey, how you doing? Hey. So what do you think about the dating madness that we're in right now? Hey, one thing. Hey, Alicia, right, jump back on. I apologize. I kind of ended it faster than I wanted to. So talk to me. I'm going to jump back to you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
My bad, Alicia. Oh, snap. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey. So what do you think about the dating madness that we're in right now? Hey, one thing. Hey, Alicia, jump back on. I apologize.
Why did they hold the door?
Faster than I wanted to. So talk to me.
I mean, I think that
you hold them accountable. Okay.
Standards, like you said.
Yes.
I agree with all that, and I mean,
what, 20?
My ex-husband, previous boyfriends, all the guys I date now, they all.
Yay!
Why?
But no, you hold them accountable, right? And I honestly, I don't think it's because of your age. I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's a matter of if you set a standard. It's what, y'all.
You guys,
have you ever driven on a road, been driving, and all of a sudden there are no lines in the road? Okay, it's a wide road. Does that not cause you discomfort? Like, okay, where am I supposed to be? But if you're driving on that exact same road and there are lines painted, you fall in line.
And it's the same thing kind of sort of when it comes to dating. If you want them to stay in line, goddamn it, set the line. And if they cross over, those are the boundaries. If you have boundaries and expectations as far as what it is you want and expect, like, 9 times out of 10, a man, not just talking about a dude, not talking about a ninja. No, I'm talking about a man. He will fall in line, and he's going to do that, especially for a 20-year-old woman like yourself.
Goddamn it, set the
it's
line.
Going to happen.
And if they cross over, those are the boundaries. If you have boundaries and expectations as far as what it is you want and expect, 9 times out of 10, a man, not just talking about a dude, not talking about a ninja. No, I'm talking about a man. He will fall in line, and he's going to do that, especially for a 20-year-old woman.
Oh, no.
It's going to happen.
We got to define the terms because we got to get it in. But go ahead. But if those are your standards, go ahead.
Even last night, I was speaking with a guy that was considerably younger than me last night. And, you know, I was telling him that I don't have sex unless I'm in a committed relationship. I mean, we were just discussing it.
Oh, no. We got to define the terms because we got to get in here. But go ahead. But if those are your standards,
let me tell you what happened.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what happened. And he said, well, heck, a dude can be patient. Just wait around. And then wait for you to give it up, and then do the same thing. I said, you know what? That's true.
Right. And while you're waiting, and you know while you're doing that, then you're also able to feel them out. You know, and quite honestly, you're making them want to stay anyway, because if a man is just like any other investment, you want a return on your investment. Now, if the return is just getting that ass and just, all right, I hit and I'm out, then obviously that's a problem. But if that man is investing time, money, and all of that, 9 times out of 10, he's not going to get the cookie and bounce. That's not usually how it's going to work. And quite honestly, whoever said that to you, once he gets these gone, that kind of gives you an idea as to that mindset as well, because if you're just focused on that particular aspect of the prize, you're not looking at the overall thing. You know what I'm saying?
But if
you're just trying to get a first down as opposed to getting a touchdown. It's two different things.
9 times out of 10, he's not going to get the
appreciate you.
Bounce.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's not usually how it's going to work.
Okay. Let's see. In the Instagram chat, Michelle said that's why. How many men are out there? How many of those types of men are out there right now? One thing that I have seen, and I want to thank y'all fellas for jumping in and saying, I hold all doors. I hold the door for my lady. Ladies, there are a lot of good men out here that are willing to do the small things. Okay. And one of the things that you know, that I talked about earlier was I'm in real estate. Okay. You can have the most beautiful house. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But if the foundation is trash, the house is trash. So if you don't make sure that the foundation is solid, what's up, batter? If the foundation is not solid, then the house sooner or later is going to crumble. Okay. So if you don't establish the foundation, remember, we're talking about dating madness. You know, I'm really more so talking about the first couple of the first interactions, if you will. Okay. And, you know, that's one of the things that we do. You know, you have to hold dudes accountable. But at the same time, if you set the tone, you set the standard, if they fall off, then you got a problem. Alicia, I want you to jump back on. You and I were talking earlier, and I hit the end button real quick. But the reason I want to talk to you is because you and we had a conversation when it comes to they're out there. These men are out there. Black Beauty on Instagram says, where are these men? Ladies, these men are out here. Here's the thing. Alicia herself alluded to that. There's a dude, he's running around and trying to open her door. She's already opened it. It's the same situation when it comes to dating. The men are out there, but because it's hard for you to see what's in front of you when you done ran out in front and the dude's behind you trying to catch up. And I promise you, men ain't trying to catch up, you know, but so long before it's like, you know what? Why am I chasing here when I can walk over there? Especially here in Atlanta where that dating ratio is so off. It's like, yeah. Okay. But one of the things, going back to what I was saying, I was talking to, let's talk about consistency. Now that is something I know that us dudes, that's problematic. Fellas, how you start something is how you need to continue doing it. And I know that that issue right there is one that is so problematic when it comes to us and how we handle relationships. Okay? If you start out holding the door, for instance, since that's what we're running with tonight, if you're going to hold the door for her at the beginning on the first date, well, damn it, you need to hold the door on the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, all the way up to the 50th. If that's what if that's how you start, God damn it, you better finish. Or not even finish, continue. Consistent behavior, or the lack of consistent behavior, is one of the main issues, I think, when it comes to the madness that we deal with when it comes to dating. You start out doing something, and then all of a sudden you stop. If you want something to happen, right? For me, I'm on that mission to be a best-selling author. I can't just write one book and say, all right, y'all go buy it. No, I have to consistently deliver and say, yo, I'm a good author. Read book 1, read book 2, read book 3. And then, damn it, read book 4, because I'm working on that one too. Then book 5. And then it's like, after a while, it's like, yo, this dude is delivering a quality product. Now, what's your name, brother? Is that Laquan? Laquan in the Instagram chat just made a great point. We are around, but overlooked at times. Go all the way back to what I said at the beginning. The reason why a lot of good dudes are overlooked, once again, goes back to what I was saying as far as value. Ladies, if you think you're up here and good brothers like Laquan are here, then guess what? You're gonna overlook him because you're up here looking. Your line of sight is way up here, but this good brother is right here. And quite honestly, if you all were on the same level, you'd be seeing eye to eye. But a lot of times, good brothers like him. But to be clear, I don't know the dude. I hope you're a good brother. I think I know you. But real talk, I'm not being silly. There are a lot of good dudes out there. But quite honestly, they are overlooked. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you have a personal preference of what you want, okay, if you like a dude that's this, that, and the third, okay, fine. It just may not be a lot of those dudes that meet the qualifications for you, so just keep that in mind. But there are a lot of good dudes. What's happening, Laquan? Thank you for joining the conversation. But there, just like he said, there are a lot of good dudes out there. A lot of good men that are out there that are looking for, good women as well. But if you aren't open, you may not necessarily even see them. Okay? All right, let me go. Let's talk about this. Let me go back over to the Facebook conversation, see what we got. Real phone calls, text, man. At the very beginning, for those of y'all that came to the conversation late, what I talked about was, let's go back to the basics. Real phone calls. That's what Danielle is saying over here in Facebook. Real phone calls. Because guess what? Texting can be misinterpreted. So if you're first meeting somebody, yeah, you can text, hey, how you doing? But then say, yo, especially my fellas, say, yo, hey, can we talk for a minute? And then pick up the phone and call. And then you have that conversation. And like I said, those phone calls, you cannot misinterpret her tone of voice. If she doesn't sound interested, yeah, you can't fake that. Okay? Now, if that's just her normal tone of voice, a series of phone calls will establish that. But the texting, initially, limit that. Get to know the person by talking to them. Okay? Just like Danielle said, when you talk to that person, you can feel each other's vibe. Okay? Now, let's see. But once you get into conversation and interest, value and where they put it. What else we got over here? Just like a home, when you walk in it, you see the potential. That is so true. Thank you. I like this Laquan dude. He's all right. Texting sucks and messages can get confusing, especially if y'all ever had a conversation where you're texting, you hit send, but then they text and they're responding back to something you said 3 messages ago, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, are you laughing at what I said? Are you laughing at what I said, 3 lines back? It gets very, very confusing. Okay? So that's something else too. It can get confusing. Now, when I made the comment that men want peace, that's ultimately, I believe, what all men want. Now, is it maybe a piece of ass, maybe it's a piece of food, whatever, but men just want peace. Okay? Just being serious. Men do want peace. We're looking for the kind of woman that will allow us to be the men that we know we are. I know we've been talking about holding the doors, but there's something about, ladies, let me kind of break it down to y'all like this. Holding the door open for a lady, holding the door open for your lady, holding the door open for a woman that you're interested in, it's not necessarily just about the process of holding the door open. When we're walking around the car, and I know for me, just military background, whatever, I'm actually surveying the scene. And I'm not going to open the door if it's not safe. Okay? Because when I get out first, I'm looking around to see, all right, where we at? What's going on? It's basically a threat assessment. Little things like that, that's how dudes think. So it's not even just a matter of, all right, let me be of service to her. It's a matter of, let me be a protector for her. And if you remove that aspect from the start of our relationship, how can you then turn around and be like, "Why you need to protect me? You need to take care of me." Okay, it's little things that men do that if we're not allowed to do it because you're independent, you're this or that, whatever. But if we allow things to fall back in line and for the madness to dissipate and for us to be like, okay, hey, I got her door. And more importantly, she allowed me to get her door. So it works in tandem. All right, Michelle, let's see what you got. So Michelle wants to go live.
Allowed to do it because you're independent. You're this and that.
Let me refill my cup on this one because I think she's going to hand it to me.
If we allow things to fall back in line,
howdy, ma'am,
madness to dissipate,
how are you?
And for us to be like, okay, hey, I got her door, and more importantly, she allowed me to get her door. So it works in tandem.
That's what she said.
All right, Michelle, let's see what you got. So Michelle wants to go live. Let me refill my cup on this one because I think she's gonna hand it to me. Howdy, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
Back. Sorry. Just had one tiny little point.
One tiny little point.
One tiny little point.
That's what she said. What you got?
It's not about, and this is about the holding door thing. And I understand that is a metaphor for what we're talking about. To your greater point, women should have standards. And we should not be falling for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. We are valuable. We are special. We should know our own worth and hold men accountable to reach our level. So I agree with you there. However, yes, the big however. Going back to your metaphor about holding the door, it's not about holding the door for your lady. It's about a man that holds a door for any lady. It is either in his character or it is not in his character. And to my point, many men of today, that is not in their character. They did not grow up with fathers, dads, uncles, other male role models to show them that that's what they're supposed to do. So I get what you're saying, and I get what the other person had said that had jumped on the call, but it's not about just women having standards. And we need to. And we need and as women, we need to hold other women accountable and let them know that they need to hold themselves to a higher standard. But men need to do the same. And what I am tired of hearing is how women need to be the healing grounds and the teaching grounds, and we need to make men better, and we need to make sure that they reach this standard that we set. I don't need to make you reach no standard. As a woman, I cannot make a man a king. A king is either a king or he is not. That's it, point blank, period. And yes, to your point, we need to navigate around the court gestures, but the fact is, it's a bunch of court gestures running around here. And I do not think it's fair for us to have to dim our shine and dim our value to teach a court gesture how to be a king. You either hold a door for a woman or you don't. And that's it. And it don't have to be your woman. That's either in you or it's not. So I think it's two parts. And actually, I'm actually agreeing with everything you're saying. It's two parts. Yeah. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. Men need to step up. And yes, we need to be more discerning. But a king is a king is a king. You need to lead. And there's not a lot of leaders around here. So don't come to me to teach you how to be what you should have already been. Talk to your mama, talk to your daddy. But yes, you're right. We do need to navigate around
as a
these
queen.
Jokers, but the fact of the matter is, it's too
as a
many
queen
damn jokers.
who
It's a lot
has
of
these
jokers
jokers
right
slash
now.
jesters
And what I would love to hear
in your
is
orbit.
other men
It's not a matter of you
calling out
elevate.
men and making sure that they are doing better.
It's not a
for
matter
me
of
to
you
teach
elevating them
It's for me to
beyond their
navigate
station.
around you.
But what
That's
it is
true. But it's not
you
for me to teach
demanding
you.
to be treated like the queen that you are.
And
It's also
That's what I'm saying.
As a queen,
So I'm not saying
Yes,
for you
I
to
am.
teach. I'm not,
As
by
a
no
queen
means am I
who
saying for you to teach a
has
man.
these
Because like I said,
jokers
there are a
slash
bunch of scrubs out
jesters
here. I get it.
in your orbit.
For whatever
It's
reason,
not a
they
matter
them
of you
already.
elevate.
I got a king. I don't even see them.
It's not a matter of you elevating them beyond their station, but what it is you demanding to be treated like the queen that you are.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying for you to teach. I'm not by no means.
But
am I
keep in
saying for
mind,
you to
what
teach
I'm
them,
talking
'cause like
about
I
is-
said, there are a bunch of scrubs out
what
here.
I'm
I
talking
get it.
about is when you
But
remember
it's-
this is the
whatever
initial
that's kind of
contact.
what you are saying.
All right, the first
in
couple
essence,
dates, if
when
you
you're
will.
saying,
So if you are
to move around
just
them, yes, I'm
starting
moving around
out,
them, but I'm also giving
you're
this
setting the
person a lesson
tone
on
for
how
what
to
you
treat a
expect.
woman.
Now,
And you should
the
have come
better
correct
the
to
better
begin
thing
with.
would be that you don't have to do so.
But I don't
However, there are a lot of
understand,
dudes
'cause,
that will
essentially,
hold
I'm
the door.
agreeing
But
with
guess what?
everything you're
Because
saying.
of the dating
What I'm talking about is when
scenery,
you, remember, this is the
the
initial
landscape that
contact, right?
we're in
the
now,
first couple dates, if you will. So
they don't
you
necessarily
are
have to.
just
And you
starting
can
out,
kind of fall back. Now, don't get
you're
me wrong.
setting
As a
the
dude, I
tone
don't
for
care
what
who
you
it is
expect.
from,
Now,
your grandma
the better-
to a girlfriend.
the
I'm going to
better
hold the
thing
door
would
for
be
you. That's
that
just
you don't
me.
have to do
But a lot
so.
of dudes is like,
However,
what?
there are a lot of
After so
dudes
many,
that
and you
will
also,
hold the door,
let's
but guess
keep
what?
in mind,
Because
too,
of
that there
the
has been a
dating
point in time where
scenery,
it was frowned upon for a
landscape
dude to hold the
that
door
we're
for a
in
woman.
now.
Because guess what?
Mhm.
No, we're equal. Don't hold my
You
door.
know, they don't
That's happened a
necessarily have
lot.
to.
So
And
therefore,
you can
a
kind
lot
of
of
fall
dudes
back.
is
Now, don't get me wrong. As a dude, I don't care who it is, from your grandma to a girlfriend. I'm gonna hold the door for you. That's just me. But a lot of dudes is like, you know what? After so many, and you also
putting down the
let's keep
kernel.
in
What
mind,
I'm
too,
saying is
that there
this.
has been a point in time where
There
it
are
was frowned
times,
upon
maybe
for
not that
a dude
specific
to hold the
example.
door for
Fine, I'll
women,
grant
because
you
guess
that.
what? No,
But there are
we're
times
equal.
where
Don't
it's
hold
like,
my
you know what? After a
That's
while, it's
happened
like,
a
hey,
lot.
no mas. It's easier
So
just to go
therefore, a
along.
lot of
I know
dudes-
that
Be
I'd
real.
much
In the
rather
black
rather
community,
hold
that
it
happens
for
a lot.
her.
In
But if for
our
whatever reason
community, be
the
real,
custom,
that
the
happens a
norm
lot
has been
in
like,
our
all right, I
community.
got it. So by the time you get tired of jumping out and going, and
putting
she's
down
already out the
kernel,
car.
what I'm saying is
Okay,
this.
so if I've dated 4
There
women
are
prior to
times,
you,
maybe not that
and they
specific
just jumped
example,
out and
fine,
just
I'll
ran
grant you that.
and
But there are times where
already
it's
out the
like,
car.
you know what? After a while, it's like, hey, no
When I
mas.
date you,
It's
I'm
easier just to
expecting
go
that as
along.
well.
I know that I'd much rather.
But if
rather
you know,
hold it
I will
for
hold the
her.
door.
But if for whatever reason, the custom, the norm has been like, all right, I got it.
I
So
hate to
by
say
the time
it,
you get tired of,
but
by the time
you know
out
what?
of
You
doing
know
it,
what's
she's
funny?
already out
It's,
the car. Okay,
I will
So
say this: every man
if I
that has
dated
been
4
in this
women prior
chat
to you,
has said, "I
and
hold
they
the
just
door,"
jumped out and
but
just ran
a
and-
lot
and-
of you ladies have said
already out
that's
the
not
car.
true. But
When
I'm not.
date
I said a
I'm
lot of you
expecting
ladies.
that
I
as
didn't
well.
say you
I'm sorry.
specifically.
But
But
you
how
know,
many?
I will
How
hold
many
the
of the
door.
men in here said,
Hold the
"Yeah, I
door.
do it. I
That
do it.
is
I
a
do it."
lie.
And another lady said,
That
"Hey,
is a
where are these dudes
lie.
at? Where are they at?" But they're
You know what-
they're
you know
we're
what's funny?
literally
'Cause
here saying, "Yo, this is what we do."
I will say this: every man that has been in this chat has said, "I hold the door." But a lot of you ladies have said that's not true. But I'm not. I said a lot of you ladies. I didn't say you specifically. But how many of the men in here said, "Yeah, I do it. I do it. I do it." And another lady said, "Hey, where are these dudes at? Where are they at?" but we're literally here saying, yo,
True.
This is what we do.
Because these are the dudes that like want to better themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting here listening to it. Yeah, being real. They're listening to a relationship podcast, and it's a different type of man that's sitting here listening to this. However, when I walk outside this door, the multitudes of dudes that approach me and want me, I'm looking at them like, where you going?
True.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there aren't men out there that do all this, because I know for a fact that there are men out there that are chivalrous, that are protectors, that are providers. I have one. So I cannot claim, I can't put out my mouth and say that there aren't men that don't.
You get a dick pic. You get a dick pic. You get a dick pic.
I got one of them. But I also know what it's like in this dating world. And I know what it's like in 2021. I see what my girlfriends are going through. I see what approaches me every single day. Like, I walk outside, a penis is getting thrown at me if I walk outside the door. But the man is attached to it's like,
you get a dick pic. You get a dick pic. You get a dick pic.
That is what I talked about earlier. When I talked about like communicating with people and shooting your shot. These dudes shoot their shot by throwing a dick pic.
As a reformed dick pic thrower,
You see my holding doors?
I may have tossed a dick pic at time. Hey, have a great day. Thanks for your insight.
Just don't send me an unsolicited dick pic. How about that? These pictures out here.
Oh my God. All right. Let's.
As a reformed dick pic.
Okay. I think we're going to have a conversation just about dick pics. Y'all ladies, we're just trying to show you, like, hey, look. Oh, snap. Okay. One thing I will say, to go back to what Larry of Element Art and Design just said, most dudes will hold the door. Most dudes will. But I also understand what Michelle was just saying in what she as far as she shouldn't have to teach a man to hold a door. Okay? So, anyway. Oh, the dick pics. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, he does count. Cut it out. Y'all, we have had a pretty intro. Oh, here we go. Hold on. All right, we're going to go live with Alicia. But while we're waiting for her to come on, consistency is the key, though. Okay? How you doing? My bad for cutting you off earlier. What you got?
Oh, the dick pics. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Let me take a sip.
Yeah, he does count. Cut it out. Y'all, we have had a pretty intro. Oh, here we go. Hold on. All right, we're going to go live with Alicia. But while we're waiting for her to come on, consistency is the key, though. Okay? How you doing? My bad for cutting you off earlier.
Are you speaking for all men?
Here we go. Here we go.
Are you speaking for all women?
Let me take a sip.
Because you and Larry are the exception. This is what you all don't understand. And the other guy who said most men will hold the door, you guys are speaking for yourselves. You're not.
I need to talk to a dude. Loquan, can you jump on the chat, bro? Because here's what I'm hearing. All the men in this that have come into this group,
are you speaking for all
into
men?
this live tonight on?
Are you speaking for all women?
I know, and I'm not saying all ladies either. Of course, we're speaking in generalities. I get it, but what I'm saying is, and Laquan himself has said it, that most dudes, to be clear,
I need to talk to a dude. Laquan, can you jump on the chat, bro? Because here's what I'm hearing. All the men in this that have come into this group,
Alicia,
into this live tonight.
We didn't say all.
And I'm trying to tell you that most men,
of course we're speaking
not
in
dudes, not boys,
what I'm saying is,
most men will do it.
Most dudes,
however, ladies, most men will do it. However,
the exception.
if you don't demand a certain
Alicia.
You're not speaking
Outcome.
from a woman. You're speaking
Don't
from
be
a man,
surprised
is what
when
I'm
you
saying.
don't get it. I'm telling
And
you,
I'm trying to
most
tell you
men
that
will
most
do the things
men,
that you want
not
if you
dudes,
set the
not
tone
boys,
and ask
most
for it.
men will do it. However, ladies, most men will do it. However,
You said what now?
if you don't demand a certain outcome, don't be surprised when you don't get it. I'm telling you, most men will do the things that you want if you set the tone and ask for it.
I agree.
Right.
I agree to that too. But at the same point in time, I'm telling you, as I'm growing up, even when I was married,
I do understand that. Now, I
said what now?
definitely understand that. I mean, if you're not used
I never
to
got
a
that, so I
certain
never
result,
knew
then,
growing
you know,
up.
if you're not used to
Yeah.
certain flavors, it's
So
hard
when
for
I
you to
got
be like,
married,
man, I
my
sure want
husband
some
didn't hold
salt.
the door because
I
that's not
get
what I
it.
was
Now,
used
that
to.
I do understand.
You know what
I
I'm
do
saying?
understand.
I didn't demand it because that's not what I was used to. I never saw it. I know men
Right.
do it, but if I didn't see
But,
it, and I'm
but
not
my
knowing
point
that
is,
that's what
now
they're
that you
supposed to do.
know,
You know what I'm saying?
now that you know, because
I do
I know
understand
it
that.
sounds like
Now,
a
I
small
definitely
gesture,
understand that.
but
I mean,
I
if you're
promise
not
you,
used
if you
to
set
a
the
certain
tone,
result, then,
because remember,
you
what
know,
we're
if you're
talking
not
about
used to
tonight,
certain
y'all,
flavors,
is
it's
dating
hard for you to be
madness.
like,
If
man,
you
I
are
sure want
starting
some
out
salt.
in
I
dating,
get it.
right?
Now, that I do
And
understand.
from the
dad, I
moment
never
you
did
swipe
that.
right,
My
or
dad
from the
never
moment
did.
he buys you a drink
To
at the
this day.
bar, if you say, okay, you know what?
But,
All right, I accept your
but my
gesture.
point is,
I'll
now
holler
that
at
you
you.
know,
But if you
now
say,
that you
hey,
know, because
we'll go out,
I
and when you
know
go
it
out, there's
sounds like a
certain
small
things,
gesture,
certain
but I
things
promise
that
you,
that
if you set the tone,
certain
'cause
standards
remember,
that
what
you
we're talking
have,
about tonight, y'all,
and
is
you will not
dating
go below that
madness.
standard,
If you are
you'll see
starting
it'll
out
be a
in dating,
dramatic and drastic
right?
difference.
From the moment you swipe right, or from the moment he buys you a drink at the bar, if you say, okay, you know what? All right, I accept
Y'all
your
have a good
gesture,
night.
I'll holler at you.
Bye.
But if you
Thank you, ma'am.
if you say, hey, we'll go out, and when you go out,
All right. Y'all, we had a great conversation tonight. Tonight we talked about dating madness, and I'm not even sure what we're going to talk about next week, but I know I appreciate each and every one of you guys that jumped in on the conversation, either over on Facebook, had some really good comments over there, and also on Instagram, y'all. But keep in mind, this will be uploaded on my YouTube channel at author Christopher Markland. So if someone that you know may have missed it, they should be able to find it there. It should be uploaded probably by Wednesday. As we do every Monday. So next Monday, we're going to be doing this all over again. Not quite sure what the topic's going to be, but it's going to be topical like this. It's going to be something that is important to us because love is real. Black love is real. And one thing that I will say that I learned in this conversation is this. There are a lot of good men out there, just like there are a lot of good women out there as well. The problem is that I don't think we're necessarily on the same level, and that's why it's hard for us to find each other. If we expect certain things and if we want certain things, if you set that expectation, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, people will either rise to the level that you want, and if they don't, then you know that they're not the one for you. You saved yourself a lot of time. So, with all that being said and done, y'all, I appreciate y'all joining the conversation tonight. Huh? Oh, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and we are going to do it all over again. See y'all next Monday. Y'all have a good one.